All right, so you know the classic card game War?
Yeah.
Very similar to that with a bunch of twists. By the time I get done with the demo, you're going to go, this is nothing like War. Because that's what everybody has said to me so far.
Okay.
All right, so we'll assume we've got a 2-player game here.
How many, up to how many players can play this game?
This is 2 to 5 players.
Okay.
All right, so you have in front of you a pass card, and you have 6 cards. All right, so you'll look at them. Unlike War, you actually get to see what your cards are.
Oh.
So let me pull a card out for the camera to see. Explains everything. All right, here we go. All right, so what you're going to do is, within the 6 cards you have, you're going to take 2 of those cards, and you're going to place them on the street.
Okay.
Those are the villains you're trying to catch.
Okay.
All right, so here's one of your villain cards. That's the point value. That's how much this villain is worth. Okay? This villain has a strength and a weakness.
Okay.
Not all of them do. Some of them only have strength, some of them have neither.
Yeah, to just tell
Once
them
this
that we're
card
going
is
to see
turned
my
up,
brother.
you're no longer worried about this card. You're playing against the other players.
Okay.
All right, so let's say, for example, all right, we both want to get this movement. So we'll both play card face down. Everybody turns them over at the same time. So you're now going to look at your capture value compared to each other. Okay?
Okay.
So in this case, it would be a tie. However, this villain has a strength, and his strength is his brawn. I'm playing a brawn.
Okay.
So now my 2 is actually worth less than 2.
Okay.
All right, so all other 2s are worth more than my 2 at this point. So even though it would be tied number-wise, because I'm playing to a strength, you would win him.
Okay.
If I was playing his weakness, magic, then my 2 would be worth more than all the other 2s that are playing.
Okay.
Now, 3s and 4s would still beat those 2s.
Right.
But in the case of a tie, that's
what breaks it, yep.
Correct. Now, along with your villains, there are some ally cards in there. Let me find one of my favorites to play. All right, so ally cards in blue, they affect everything that's going on. In the case of the police, everybody loses if somebody plays the police.
Okay.
They've come along and they've broken everything up. Nobody's going to win.
Yep.
All right, so what you'll do is, now you also have a pass card.
Right.
If you don't want to bid on a villain, or if you bid once and it's a tie and you don't want to keep bidding, you can play the pass card.
Okay.
You can only play the pass card once each round. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put cards into bid, and looking at your cards, you're going to look at the strength of the cards you have, their capture values up in the upper left-hand corner, and then look at the point values. So you don't want to put high point value cards in if all your capture values are 1s and 2s.
Right.
Because most likely your opponents are going to be able to beat you. So, for the purposes of our playtest, I'm just going to pick 2 cards. Those are going to be the 2 I bid. You will bid 2 as well.
Okay.
Alright, so they are shuffled together, kept face down. Now, you know what you've put in, but you don't know what I've put in.
Right.
So, first one gets turned out. If you had put this guy in and you knew he was not the highest point value you put in, you may decide, you know what, I'm not gonna bid on it, because I know there's higher point values in there.
Right.
So in this case, you know, he's out there, so you're gonna look at your capture value cards that you've got and decide what you want to play. You will play it face down. Okay, so after everybody's put their cards down, they all get revealed at the same time. All right, so by 4, top's your 1.
Right.
He would come over here. Okay, he would go into this card, and the next one gets turned over. And you do the same thing. Decide what you're going to bid. All right, everything gets revealed at the same time. All right, so
Those all green cards, you know,
are reduced by 1.
Yeah.
So in a case like this, what you're doing is you're trying to mess up other players. You know you're not going to win,
right,
but you're trying to mess up what other players are doing. So along with cards that will mess players up, there are cards that affect point value. So I have one where if I have this guy plus more of the red mooks than anybody else, I'll get 2 extra victory points at the end of the game.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, in this case, we go here. The next one gets turned up. All right. So now we've got a 7 victory point line. He's got both a strength and a weakness. All right. So cards get flipped over. Your 3 to my 2. He would come over there. So that becomes yours. And then you go to the last one. So we got another 7-point line. Okay, so we flip over. All right, so my 4 to your 2. So he would come over here.
Yep.
Play 4 rounds, and that's it.
Okay.
The game takes about 15 minutes to play.
Okay.
Certain villains. So we've got the collector here. Find. There are certain cards that will affect point values. So you may or may not want to win certain cards. So let's say you've already won the collector, and this guy gets turned up. Now, if you have the mummy and the collector's worth 0 victory points.
Okay, so this guy would be worthless then.
Right, so he's come up. You don't want to win him.
Right.
So maybe you're going to play your pass card. Well, let's say you've already played it this round. So now everybody else is going, all right, you know what we're going to do? We're all going to play ones. And hope that we can force him to actually win this card and take it.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit more about it, like where the art style came from.
So
and the idea of having it